Welcome to Versus, a show where two coaches battle it out head-to-head to decide who has the best training program for a real athlete. Each coach has limited time to present and justify their design, and then that person's actual coach will judge each program.
All right, guys, it's my week to have someone presented for the design thingy. So we got Bobby here. Bobby is about 40 years old.
Is Bobby his last name?
Yeah, Bobby.
Is his first name Ricky?
No, it's just Bobby.
Bobby.
Bob Roberts.
Yeah. So Bobby here, Bobby Squared, is approximately 40 years old. He is a business owner, owns two local gyms. He is a hybrid of a personal trainer, strength coach, as well as a very smart business person. So he's multifaceted in that way. He does have a high training age. To my knowledge, he's never played like a specific sport or has done anything like CrossFit that's very volume heavy, but has been training for a big chunk of his life in just typical strength and conditioning work. So he is familiar with that. That being said,
what kind of gyms does he own?
He owns like semi-private gyms. So people come in for like semi-private sessions, normal personal training style. So nothing's not like a CrossFit gym. So it's
I kind of assumed it was
private.
CrossFit when I see.
Yep, I did this. I assumed the same
thing.
I was like, yeah, he'll definitely have a GHD.
Yeah. There's no GHD, but he does have one in his home gym. So, yeah, he has a lot in his home gym that he doesn't have in his normal gym. So he's pretty much well off with most equipment. So that's usually not a limitation. He's really smart when it comes to strength and conditioning stuff. So you don't need to spend a lot of time teaching him what this means and all that, which is nice. And that's on that side of things. He does have a few injuries here and there that are reoccurring. One being his low back. They get aggravated if he does like back squats or if he starts getting heavier into some deadlifts. So just being mindful of that. He does have right shoulder pain, usually when he's benching, flat benching, incline benching, perfectly fine. So keeping that in mind too. He also does go to, periodically to a physical therapist and all that. So he does work on that supplementary to this on the side. He trains about 4 times per week, likes to do things of like general strength and conditioning, likes to keep athletic movements in his program. So jumping and plyometrics and all those things. So he's not just a squat, bench, deadlift type of guy. He wants to move in different planes and all that. So that's important. And one of the things that him and his wife do is they go and climb mountains and do all these things like crazy stuff. So I usually keep that in mind too when I program for him, knowing that he's going to go for 2 weeks on a trip where he's climbing a mountain and doing all these things. So take it away.
One of the things that I kind of assumed from him is that he'd own like CrossFit gyms. Is probably just because, like you were saying, when I hear people owning a gym, I just assume it's a CrossFit gym. So I kind of put similar CrossFit workouts together. I don't know if that's like what he does. Like there'll be a Metcon in here or two. I don't know if that like he does very many, but if he does,
he is this week.
I was gonna say he's getting some this week.
All right, Dub, your time's running, dude.
I was gonna say I need to start talking. Day 1 is unilateral lower/power day. I call it. We're starting off with some plyometrics and a little bit of prep. Not like a whole bunch of plyometrics, but just stuff to get bounced and get ready to go. 3 rounds, 20 pogo hops, 40 single unders, and 60-second bike at a cruise pace. Like I said, just getting warmed up for the meats and vegetables of this today. The strength training I have rear foot elevated split squats, so like on a bench or I don't even know what they're called. The things that are like made for split squats. Don't know
like
what they're
roller
called.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. 5 sets of 6 reps on each side at RP 7 to 8. Slight forward torso, so a little bit forward than normal. And heel grounded, keeping your heel on the ground. So we have that. Second part of the strength piece, we have cyclist squats. So holding a kettlebell. I didn't put that there. Holding a kettlebell in this front rack here. Feet on like a 25-pound plate is what I normally use for these. 4 sets to 8 reps. controlled 3-second eccentric. Like I said, I didn't even put anything in here yet. It was supposed to be something like an RP 7 to 8, like I have up here. And then we have dumbbell jump. So holding dumbbells in 2 hands, jumping up and down for 3 reps, 5 sets, light and crisp. This was supposed to be rest 30 to 60 seconds there. I forgot to put that as well. Man, I'm forgetting tonight. The conditioning part of this session, I have 6 sets, 1:30 on the air bike at a hard pace, rest for 1:30, so 1:30 on, 1:30 off, to target repeatability there. So at a hard pace, trying to repeat it for all 6 sets. So 6 sets, I don't know how many seconds that is off the top of my head, but should be pretty tough. And one of the things that you put in here is that he likes to work on his core strength. So I put that in there twice this week at the end of the session. I was going to put it in a third time, but I was like, I think we'll have a decent core, but he don't need to get blasted with core work. So here I just have a little small superset of a side plank with a reach through. So you'd be like on a bet, or you'd be on the ground, like on an elbow, reaching all the way through, coming back all the way at the top for 12 reps on each side. And then the superset with 15 strict hanging knee raises. If you have one of those pads, I don't know if he has like one of those padded bars or like one of those the Jacob's ladders. I think that's what they're called. I think I have that right.
Stall bars.
Yeah. Using that to keep the strict.
I just built one of those in my garage for my kids.
I was gonna say we have one at the wrestling room. Dude, they're so nice. I like them so much. You get a really good core workout from those. They're really nice. But yeah, that's what I have for the first day there. Second day, I have
all right,
some
you're like
upper
4
body.
minutes in.
Okay. I think I'll be good here. I'll try to pick it up a little bit. Day 2, we have upper body strength plus capacity. So I have 2 supersets to start off his strength portion of today. We have incline dumbbell bench press. You said I was right. Incline is all right, or was it? Yeah, I couldn't remember off the top of my head when I was looking at it, and I couldn't freaking pull up my Google Doc, so I was thinking it was incline. Incline dumbbell bench 5x5 at RP 7.5 to 8. Superset with weighted pull-ups, 5 sets of 4 to 6 reps at RP 7.5 to 8. Rest 1:30 to 2 minutes between sets, so getting a little bit of push and pull there. And then the same thing here with the second superset, push pull here, half kneeling, single arm landmine press, so kneeling on the ground, single arm in that landmine press there. 4 sets of 8 reps per side at RP 8. Superset with dumbbell prone row, 4x8 RP 8 there. Same thing. Rest 1:30 to 2 minutes between each set there. So 2 different supersets, 2 different push-pull combinations there. And then we have, again, a little conditioning piece at the end. Every minute on the minute for 16 minutes. Minute 1, you're doing 12 toes to bar, and minute 2 is 12 burpees over a line. I don't know if he has toes to bar. When you're saying he
does this week.
I was gonna say I hope he has them this week. So I was gonna say, like you said, when you didn't know he owned I didn't know that he didn't own a CrossFit gym. I assumed he owned a CrossFit gym, have toes to bar. We'll find out.
If you own a CrossFit gym, you have to be able to do toe to bar. It's just the rule.
It's a requirement.
It's a requirement.
It's part of that. No, what did Chris say? The only thing you need to own a CrossFit gym is a bank account and a pulse. You don't even need toe to bar.
Toes to bar is a requirement now. So day 3 is posterior chain work. We have 2 strength pieces here. We just have 2 single strength pieces. First thing, we're doing trap bar deadlift, 6 sets of 3 reps at RPE 7. Like you had in the notes there, keeping some things light. So I tried to keep most of the strength work that we had like decently light and push it on some things. So this one I kind of wanted to keep light because of you said back issue before. So I put RPE 7, rest is needed between the sets. And then the second part would be single leg dumbbell RDLs. Pushing that leg back. I forgot to put here staggered stance, single leg RDL. 3 by 8 per side, RPE 7, rest is needed. So I had 2 supersets here. I had 3 single strength pieces here, and then I have 2 single strength pieces here. And then we go into the conditioning part of this session today. 4 time with a 1,000-meter rower. Again, assumed you had a CrossFit gym. So I imagine most people have a rower if they have a home gym off the top of my head. So 1,000-meter row, 50 Russian kettlebell swings with the 53 pounder, and 1,000-meter run. If he has a runner, I would want this on a runner, just because I didn't say this, but most of the reason why I program a little bit dumbed down is because I don't have all this fancy stuff that Ben and Day have. I
know about it, but it doesn't mean that I have all of it.
Yeah. So I think I just programmed to like what I think I have. So that's probably why I put this on a runner, because I was like, I don't have a runner. Switch it up a little bit.
He does have a runner in his home.
Bang. Perfect.
Yep.
At the end, we have core strength, 3 supersets, 30-second pal off press, iso hold. So if he had a crossover symmetry, or even just use a band, just holding that pal off press here for 30 seconds, and then going into 12 dead bugs. Rest 90 seconds between each set there. And then I don't know how much time I have left, but this should take pretty quick, because this is a pretty easy session to go over. The last session of this week is a long engine day. I put a little bit of farmer's carry, strongman stuff here. 4 to 6 rounds. So depending on how he feels after the week, 150 foot, not 150 pound, 150 foot kettlebell front rack carry. So holding 2 kettlebells just like this, 150 foot. And then he would have a 100-foot dumbbell suitcase carry, 50 foot on one side, 50 foot on the other, and then a 50-foot sandbag carry. So heavier sandbag if he can. Like I put here, all weights relatively heavy depending on how drained you are throughout the week. And then rest is needed between the sets there. So I'd let up to the option here of how many rounds he'd want to do and whatever weight he'd want to do depending on how he felt throughout the week. And then at the end here, I put a 45 to 60-minute zone 2 hike or bike. If the weather is good, like right now in Pennsylvania, the weather is great. So I put, if the weather is good, go outside and hit the trails. If the weather is bad, hop on a bike erg for this one. Bam. Under 10 minutes.
Just like I had 10:15.
Yeah, probably slightly over. Day, you can keep track of my time. Similar layout actually of Dub again, where it's like, essentially 3 kind of gym sessions during the week, and then like a longer aerobic day that could be preferably out of the gym. Let's jump into it. So day 1 here, plyos, squatting, and pressing work. Starting off 3 to 5 minutes easy cyclical, 3 to 5 minutes active ability. Again, Day said he's pretty experienced. He's going to be able to throw in stuff there that, is going to get him ready for the pieces to come. So the first thing here is squat development, and kind of mixing the plyometrics into this as well. EMOM for 9 minutes. So this is a rotating EMOM at minute 1, 3 box jump step downs, to a challenging, building up to a challenging height across those 3 total sets that he's going to be doing. And then 4 rotational mid ball slams from a split stance on each side, using probably the lightest ball he's got. Then a 4-second back squat isometric quarter squat at minute 2, plus 6 to 8 bottom of squat jumps, which is sort of an extensive plyo technique that's hopefully like opening and not super joint, not super joint beat 'em up. I don't know. I need a word for that.
Beat 'em up. I'm going to use that.
Beat 'em up. And then the 3rd minute here is a 10 seconds of an air bike, with the first 5 seconds being ramp up, second 5 all out. And then 3 to 4 sets, resting 3 minutes between. 6 front squats with the heels elevated, 105 plus or minus 5 pounds is the target weight, since Day said that he did some work with 95 last week with the heels elevated. And then going right into 12 farmer's lunge steps at 50 a hand, and then right into 18 barbell hip thrusts at 115, again with a bit of a range, plus or minus 10 pounds. Resting 3 minutes between those, again, a bit auto-regulated, 3 to 4 sets. So sort of like strength endurance work that involves bilateral squatting as well as single leg, as well as hip extension, which is only hopefully going to be protective for the low back, but still getting the hips. Then we go into our pressing work. We got a half kneeling landmine press with just the empty bar. And basically he's doing 6 reps on each side, going from one side right back to the other with no rest between. But I want him leaning into the top to get a real big overhead stretch. It's like a great preparatory exercise for pressing, especially if you're doing vertical pressing where you need a little bit more range of motion overhead. B, dual dumbbell push press, drop sets. So 10, 8, then 6, then 4 with the building weight and RPE on each set, starting at RPE 6 when you're on the set of 10 and building to RPE 8.5 by the time you get to your set of 4. And then he gets his dumbbell incline bench, 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. I'm looking for those to all be like fairly quality working sets in the RPE 7 to 8 type range. And then finally, a dumbbell Cuban press for a little bit of shoulder health and external rotation work, since pressing and pulling tends to bias internal rotation a lot. 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps, 10 to 15 pounds each. That's day 1. Day 2, hinging, pulling, and breathing. So I actually plugged in one of our routines that we have for Zor. This is one of the things. So now Coach RX is going to be a sponsor of the show. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Coach RX, kind of for coming from Google Sheets and using them forever, is that every time I used to have to put in a routine, I would always have to type it out for an athlete. Like I would either
goodness,
step up lunge routine, and then I would have to either link the demo video, go and find those demo videos every single time, or the athlete would have to go scroll to a different tab and then be looking at see routines tab column C, and then they'd have to go down and find it and look at it. This is just so much cleaner that it's all at one spot. So
I literally will type one letter and it'll give me the routine I already want. I love it so much.
So 2 things. One, that's obviously way better workflow for me as a coach. But then also it is much cleaner for the athlete where they don't have to go digging for something. So shout out Coach RX. Yeah, we do an affiliate link if people want to go check it out below. I'll link to it in the show notes and on YouTube. So check it out. Excited to have them on board with the podcast. Basically, we went through a step up lunge routine with some, I'm not going to read it all off, but basically it's hip disassociation and hip flexion work. And then Russian kettlebell swings. The first 2 sets are going to be just traditional. And then the second 2 are going to be band resisted. Again, that's just driving a lot of obviously hip extend, but also just a lot of core rigidity because we've got some deadlifts coming up. And I know that those could be maybe a problem child for him. And it's something that, even if you're someone who's not super tolerant of it, I'd like to see someone at least keep an exposure of it so they stay a little bit more tolerant. Full pulses and a kettlebell oblique opener. Really, the kettlebell oblique opener is it's sort of like a McGill variation where you're setting a kettlebell on your stomach and you're creating a brace against that. So 4 sets of 4 breaths. And again, you're initiating a brace before each of those reps, so to speak. Then he goes into his hinging strength. We got a dead stop deadlift, 4 sets of 4, 74 to 77%. Again, obviously I'm kind of blind as to where he is, but assuming he's been deadlifting regularly, that should be kind of moderate. And obviously dead stop, it encourages control of the deadlift. So moderately heavy, hopefully with great control, good positions, hopefully setting him up for success from a low back health perspective. And then kickstand, dumbbell RDL, 2 sets of 10 to 12 on each leg at a moderate weight, just getting a little extra time and attention there. Then our pulling strength, barbell bent over row. Obviously, it kind of flows nicely to go from deadlifts into a barbell bent over row and then into pulling reps. But I want him to keep it pretty moderate, 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps, 6 to 7 RPE range, and making sure that he's keeping those strict because you don't want him doing big heaving reps if you've dealt with low back stuff. And then B, supinated strict pull-ups. 3 sets of an AMRAP -2 type effort. So in other words, leaving 2 reps in the tank, so to speak. And then finally a dumbbell preacher hammer curl off the GHD that he obviously has of 3 sets of 8 per arm at a challenging load. And then I actually added did I say that? Yeah. Hinge, pull, breathe. Okay. So I didn't go off the template, which is good. Didn't stray from it. 4 sets, 6 minutes on, 2 minutes off, 1 mile at bike, and then an air runner, preferably at a zone 4 cap in the remaining time. Zone 4 is great. You're obviously going to build a lot of the qualities that would be required for something like a time trial. Even Day said he wanted to keep his VO2 max sharp. That would definitely kind of fit the bill there without incurring a crazy amount of fatigue. Just some biking and box breathing to finish for that day. Session 3, 10-minute cyclical at easy pace. Rotate machines as you see fit. We got some prep work for the hips because we got some plyos coming up here shortly. 5 per side with front foot elevated ATG split squat. 10 calf raise off a plate, 5 sissy squats with a rig assist, and 5 glute ham raises. Really just getting the knees and hips firing in all planes. And then his plyos, single leg box jump, and then skater jumps, then band assisted plyo push-ups, and then skier. And that's actually supersetted with skier cows at like a sprint effort, moderate damper, really trying to encourage like a really high level of joint velocity there. And then today, this is his full body strength. We got a dual kettlebell front rack Bulgarian split squat. It's a mouthful, but it's not that challenging of an exercise for someone who's been doing split squats regularly, which it sounds like he enjoys those variations. And then a sumo deadlift on this day, which I find can almost have a protective mechanism for the low back if you do it correctly, and especially if you keep the weights in moderate and just focus on having a good engagement. So 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps, start counting sets at RPE 6 and build to RPE 8. So again, relatively moderate to moderately heavy work. And then a superset of pushing and pulling, strict chest bars. Since last time we did supinated strict pull-ups, this time is traditional grip, strict chest to bar. So it should bring the rep range quite a bit. And I want him doing an AMRAP set. So basically as many as he possibly can, keeping it strict and no hanging to rest between reps. So as soon as that gets ugly and he can't maintain that 2-second low with no rest between, cut it off. And then parallel dips of 3 sets of 20 seconds for max reps with either body weight or up to 10 pounds added to his body weight. Finally, on this day, he's got his more VO2 development, 4 to 5 sets with a 3-minute walking rest between, 9 lengths of a 10-meter shuttle run at a smooth pace, and then a 10-meter sled push at a grindy load, 9 more lengths of a 10-meter shuttle run at a moderate pace, hopefully faster than the first time, another 10-meter sled push at a grindy load, and then finally 9 more lengths of a 10-meter shuttle run at a strong pace. So basically the run should be ramping, and the sled is obviously it's an odd number, so you're going to end back where you've pushed your sled the first time. So I know it's kind of not super pretty numbers, but it makes sense once you actually like get into the flow of the workout. So you're doing that 4 to 5 times. Really the idea being he's getting up to very close to a max heart rate, and then he's able to rest and repeat that effort. And then 5 minutes with walk with a breath sync and some mobility work. Finally, session 4 is this long aerobic day. Really not a ton of specifics here. I said it's a power hike, target time 2 to 3 hours. Pick a course with challenging terrain, keep it a brisk walk, and he has the option if he wants to wear a pack or a weight vest, he can do that. I would prefer him to collect heart rate data and elevation so I can see total vert and obviously his heart rate graph. And then looking for this to feel comfortable, but like you're working, right? Just so a little bit more like language around the descriptors for that. And then a foot care routine that I stole from Kyle Ruth. Actually, I kind of adopted some things at the end that are mine, but a variation of what he gave me before. So there you have it. How long was that?
11:20.
Dang.
Yeah.
We're never going to get it perfectly inside of it. We're always just going to start ranting or something. If you would have never had your little advertisement thing, you'd probably be in. But, sometimes you got to sacrifice some time.
Yeah.
Like clock doesn't stop for that mid-roll ad,
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Well,
Cool.
Jay, you're up. You got to judge us.
Oh, man. Okay. So I'll start off with W's just because you went first. So it's slowly slipping through my mind. I like the different focuses on each day, like the single leg, posterior chain, power, all that stuff. One thing I would say is with Bobby, he has a high training age. So Bobby squared. He has a high training age, so he could handle a little bit more advanced like plyometrics. So things like, rebounding jumps, jumps,
single leg jumps and skater jumps is what you mean?
Yes.
Actually,
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. And like depth jumps and then like repeated and all that stuff. So he could handle those like more advanced movements, and that's something he's really interested in. So I didn't emphasize it a lot before, but since I know him, like obviously I know the inside scoop, and he's very much into that. So that was one thing I think that, beyond the pogo jumps and all that stuff, just thinking about a little bit more advanced movements for him there. I do like the direct core work. I think that was something that like he wanted, and you included that in there. Did you include, I know you had incline bench. Did you include dips in your program?
I did not. I did incline dumbbell bench press. So I did that, and then I did lamb eye press.
Okay. Yeah, something like he would probably benefit from dips just because he likes them. So mentally benefits him emotionally.
Emotionally benefits. I like that.
Emotional benefits.
Right.
Hi, Coach. It would emotionally benefit me if you give me some dips. I need some bicep curls, please.
Yes. Like every time I have like a dude athlete, like he's getting bicep curls, whether or not it benefits him, in his performance.
Physically or emotionally.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting bicep curls.
Look good, feel good.
Yeah, exactly. Female athlete, glute bridges. So that's what I would say with your program. Ben, I was gonna say I like the single leg plyometrics and all that. Actually, who was it? Debbie, I think you had like the sandbag stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I like that. That was one thing that I actually wrote down where I'm like, I need to give that to him. Like, I want to include that in his program. So like strongman type work, because I think it will benefit him a lot in his like mountaineering adventures. So and that's something I felt like after seeing your program, I was like, oh man, I think I'm lacking that and I need to include that in there. So that was really good and I like that. And then with Ben, I liked your conditioning stuff as well, the different focuses. So I like that a whole day was dedicated to like a power hike. I think that's really good, and that's something that he does too, or he makes time for it. So definitely really good, especially with the goals he has in mind, as well as with the mixture of something like the VO2 type workout. Did you see his workout that I had on Coach RX before you wrote yours? Because I felt like a lot of it like was a good progression for him, like in terms of like the weights and all that stuff. So I thought that was good too.
We got a cheater over here.
So
I swear I didn't look at anything. I think I know who Dave's talking about. I think I saw him like maybe like reposted something or whatever of his. If I'm thinking of the right guy. So at least I've seen the guy maybe one time. Doing exercise.
Yeah. He's reposted a few things, so you've probably seen him. Yeah. So
besides that, yeah. No.
So yeah, that's really good. And then the foot care stuff, I'm gonna probably steal that too. So I'm stealing something from both of you guys.
Yeah, I created a couple different routines that were like running prehab type work that if I just start increasing somebody's run volume, I just give them those as like a blanket type thing, just because it's like there's no downside to doing a little extra joint health and making sure you don't implode when you start running more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. We'll let you guys be the final judge. You got to decide who won the programming battle. And then if you have, yourself, frankly, if you want to like have us write a design for yourself and see what it would look like, let us know. Reach out to one of us on Instagram. Would probably be the easiest place, and we'll get back to you. So thanks, guys.
Cool.